This is Pete Geiger, and we're talking today about firewood. And the issue we want to talk about right now is when you have your firewood delivered, it's cut, it's split, it's dry. Now when you want to stack the firewood, what's the best ways to stack the firewood? Do you put it right up against your house, right up piles against each other? What's the best technique, would you say?
The best technique is definitely to have your firewood stacked in long single rows, and this prevents the moisture content from building up between different piles and different stacks of wood. You want to make sure that your stacks are long, and you want to make sure that the wood is not too tightly packed. When you have your wood too tightly packed, it doesn't allow the wood to dry as efficiently as it should.
Last year I stacked my wood so it was about 6.5 feet high each row. And of course the first good storm blew it all over and I had to restack it. So in terms of how high you stack piles, what's the
Well, the key to how high you stack piles is obviously how stable your ground is. If your ground has a pitch to it, then you want to prepare for the pitch. You want your stacks to be lower to the ground and longer. If you have nice level flat ground, then you want to consider stacking it higher, but you want to make sure you have some good supports on the end, and that could be driving stakes in the ground 2 or 3 feet, then having them 8 feet tall, having a little taller than your pile. And then you might want to consider putting some rope around the tops of it to keep the pile pulled in so it doesn't fall over on any unexpected youngsters coming by during the day. The key factors to drying wood for the fire season: most people that burn wood in the state of Maine think that they can cut their wood in the springtime and it'll be ready for the winter time. For some types of wood that's fine, but for a majority of your hardwoods, you want to cut your wood for the following season. You don't want to burn anything that's too wet, because then you're going to cause a lot of creosote buildup in your chimneys, and that could cause some really serious damage to the lining of your chimneys over the winter time.
Okay, so you cut your wood, you have it sitting somewhere. What's the best? What do you want to do in terms of just making sure your wood dries efficiently?
The best way to dry wood, the pile that's here is exposed to the sunlight, and it's got a lot of wind blowing on it on a daily basis. That's perfect. You don't have to worry too much about the rain hitting it and soaking it up, because the wind and the sun is going to evaporate that amount of water that is absorbed during a big rainstorm. The key factors you want to look at drying your firewood are: don't cover your firewood with large tarps. That's fine and dandy if you want to do it for a short amount of times. If you know there's a big rainstorm coming, then you can cover your firewood. But for the overall best effect of drying firewood, if you put a tarp on the firewood, you cause moisture. And what happens is it's not allowing the firewood to evaporate. The water doesn't evaporate from the firewood. And it actually causes mold to build up in your firewood, and that could be pretty hazardous bringing that into your house.
Okay. Well, at the Farmer's Almanac, we want to help you get ready for winter. We want you to be prepared for whatever comes your way. And so Scott Laliberte was joining me today. If you have any questions about firewood, about stacking, about any aspect of getting ready for winter, drop me a note at Pete Geiger at farmersalmanac.com, and jot us a note. We'll answer the question.